Good morning to everyone. It is February and it is Check It Out. We are so excited to be here today. I know Janeé has a full slate of books for us. And so without further ado, I will turn it over to you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Can you guys see the slides okay? Give me a thumbs up in the chat or just reply
Slides look
yes.
great. Yep.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check It Out. I'm so happy that you could be with us today. We've got a full deck on hand, so let's get started. And there we go. What's our plan today? Today we will cover storytime standouts. And what do I mean by storytime standouts? Storytime standouts are the best new books to use for story times. So we'll cover 3 of those. We'll share an early reader. We'll share picture books, children and teen nonfiction. We'll also talk about middle grade fiction, teen fiction, graphic novels and manga, and I will share what I'm reading, and I will also share some upcoming events that should be on your radar. And for those of you that are new, I see some people in the chat, some of you are new, welcome. I want to send a personal welcome to you. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I am the Youth Services Consultant for the State Library of Iowa. Down below is my contact information. There's my email address and phone number. Please contact me for any youth needs. If you're looking to update your teen collection, if you're looking to start some youth programs, please reach out. I love coming to different libraries, and a lot of people that have seen me, they know I like to bring goodie bags of books with me. And I also like to share something that brings me joy every month because we all need joy. This month was a great month of joys, but the biggest joy was meeting Michael Threets. I got to meet him last Monday at Des Moines Public Library. He was at Des Moines Public Library and West Des Moines for their staff in-service day, and I got to meet him, and this man really is the real deal. He embodies library joy. He was fantastic. Yes, Amy said he was fantastic. He made me cry and a couple people cry. He's just amazing, and he's going to be doing some awesome things coming down the pike. He's going to be doing a social media series with PBS, which I'm excited to hear about. So that is something that brought me joy this month, and I hope this month you found something that brought you joy as well. So let's get started. Okay, so our first segment is Storytime Standouts. These are the best books to use for story times. I like to pick out books that are storytime standouts because story times are the bread and butter of our job as youth librarians. So these were the 3 that stood out for me this month. If you are not familiar with the DK Pop-Up Peekaboo series, really take a peek at that series. They have some really fun, brightly colored and illustrated board books, but they're about yay size. They're very sturdy, very cool board books. But this one stood out. It's called Pop-Up Peekaboo Frog. This is written by Abby Lascombe and illustrated by Amy Grimes. And it asks young children, how does a wriggly tadpole become a hopping frog? This book has large flaps that help children find out. I took a picture just to show you how big the flaps are, because they are big. But this is a rhyming large board book, and it shows kids how eggs are laid in the pond. And it shows what a tadpole looks like. I loved that because it pops out. That picture of the tadpoles pop out. It shows how tadpoles, how they change into froglets. And I didn't know that they could swim and climb with their legs and they can breathe on land. And once the frog is fully grown, it shows how the frogs return to the pond to lay its eggs. I adored the bright illustrations, the easy to read text. If you're working on a preschool unit for your preschool story time on frogs, or if you're having a daycare teacher or provider that is working on a unit on frogs, this would be a good addition to that collection or your storytime collection. The next book is called I Do Not Eat Children. This is written and illustrated by Marcus Cutler. And this is about an orange, clever, and sneaky monster who says, I do not eat children. I would never eat a child. What do you think I am? A monster? This is a laugh out loud, funny picture book. Each time the children turn the page, there's the monster, and there's all these children lined up. They're playing, they're doing different things. And as you turn the page to read the text, the funny thing is, each child goes missing. And so you know the monster is lying. But it's such a laugh out loud monster romp, and it blames the reader. The monster says, maybe it's you that eat children, until he burps out the evidence, as you can see, where he goes, "Rrrr." I loved this book. You could pair it with Go Away Big Green Monster by Ed Emberley for a monster story time, and then have like a fun monster craft or a monster scavenger hunt afterwards. Super cute, super funny. This is a winner. This is a new book that comes out in March. This is called You're Going to Love This Book. This is written by Jory John and illustrated by Olivier Talc. This received a starred review in School Library Journal, and this is a lively, funny picture book because it features unlovable things. The dentist, early bedtimes, and homework. It's got everything you want in a picture book. There's comedy, drama, action, and heart. And, you know, every child wants to go to the dentist. Not. So it is just super duper funny, and it's got raisins, which the author says it's nature's candy. Super silly, super funny. Grab You're Going to Love This Book by Jory John. Oh, and Rachel says Jory John is one of her favorite authors. Excellent. We're going to move to now early readers. And I just have one early reader for you this month. This book is called Jump for Joy. This is written by Karen Gray Ruel and illustrated by Hadley Hooper. This adorable book has received starred reviews in Shelf Awareness and Forward Reviews. And it's about a little girl named Joy. Joy wants to have a dog. That is her dream. She dreams about dogs, she thinks about dogs, and that is her main goal. And Jump, that's the dog's name, Jump wants to have a kid owner. He wants someone to play fetch with. He wants a child to play with and just adore him. And throughout the seasons of spring, summer, fall, and winter, each character builds their ideal owner or pet out of different things. And it's super fun, super cute. And finally, once all the things melt, like in the snow, they build their own version of a person or a dog. And once everything melts away, Jump and Joy find each other. This book has wonderful wordplay and great alliteration. This would be great for a one-on-one sharing between caregiver and child, or even for like a dog-themed story time. But really, grab Jump for Joy by Karen Gray Ruel. Now we are going to move to picture books and board book roundup. Here we go. The first book is called Eyes That Weave the World's Wonders. And let me move my notes real quick. This is written by Joanna Ho with Liz Keinrock and illustrated by Dung Ho. This received a star review in School Library Journal. And this is a stunningly illustrated picture book about a young girl. She is transracial and she's an adoptee, and she learns to appreciate both her birth culture and her adopted family's culture. And she discovers that these differences are part of her and what makes her beautiful. Her adoptive parents are just wonderful people. And some of the text says, when mom looks at me, It's like she sees me for the first time, every time. Her eyes tell me I'm every wish, she whispered into the evening air, a masterpiece more magnificent than the dream she clung to before I arrived. It shows how the girl came to America through her parents and just growing up in this transracial family. Beautifully illustrated, beautifully stunning. This would be great to add for if you're needing to get books on adoption. Please grab Eyes That Weave the World's Wonders. Our next book is called The Blue Pickup. This is written by Natasha Triplett and illustrated by Monica Mackay. This received a starred review in Kirkus, and this is a delightful picture book about Jew Girl, who spends her days in the garage with her grandfather. They fix up cars, and Jew Girl hears stories about her grandfather's old blue pickup truck in Jamaica and what he used to do. I love the part where at the very end of the story, Jew Girl receives her own set of sockets to build and fix her own cars and trucks. This is a beautifully illustrated picture book. The author, Natasha, who is Jewish and Jamaican American, she inherited her grandfather's truck after he passed away, and it restored it. And you'll see that picture at the very end of the book. But this has vibrant illustrations, beautiful story. Definitely pick up The Blue Pickup. Our next book is called Time to Make Art. This is written and illustrated by Jeff Mack. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal, Kirkus, and Hornbook. The little girl says, "When I make art, does it have to be perfect? When do you begin? When is your creation done?" Those are all valid questions that children ask. But this is a gorgeous picture book about a young girl who asks these questions about how to make art with her curious cat following her. And the answers that she receives come from a diverse group of all different kinds of artists. I really loved this book because it encourages kids to find the artist in themselves. They have some of the different authors, or excuse me, some of the different artists featured in the book. There's Andy Warhol, Frida Kahlo, Piet Mondrian. This is just awesome. And in the back of the book, it has all the artists featured in the story. The illustrations are just gorgeous. This would be a nice addition to an art story time for elementary ages or a crafty readers program for elementary ages. But definitely pick up Time to Make Art. Our next book is called Ramadan Kareem. This is written by M.O. Yuskal and illustrated by Hatem Ali. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal and Booklist. This book, and it's a beautifully illustrated picture book, it teaches readers the experience and the sacred traditions of Ramadan. And it's a time of spirituality, gratitude, charity, and empathy for all. This year's holiday, it starts March 11th and it ends April 9th, from what my understanding. But kids learn about everything from fasting to getting together with family, different foods that are eaten during the holiday, and there's so much more. In the back of the book has a glossary, it has additional resources, and an explanation of the holiday included. Okay, we're going to switch gears and we are going to move to our children and teen nonfiction books. Here we go. Our first title on this list is called National Geographic Kids: Deadliest Animals on the Planet. Now, if you have not seen these National Geographic kids books, they are very popular with young readers. Kids can read fun facts about each animal inside this book and their habitats, survival mechanisms, and other different animal behaviors. Each animal is pictured in a full color photo with a small sidebar about each animal. Some of the featured animals that they have in the book include dingoes, bullet ants, all the way to North American rattlesnakes, orcas, lions, and so much more. They also have different sections in the book. There's one section called Cute But Deadly, where they show animals that are cute and deadly. I put a little picture to the side there so you can see. There's a Deathly Myths Busted section about daddy longlegs, vultures, earwigs. And they have a poisonous or venomous section where kids can read about which animals are poisonous or venomous. But if you have a strong animal section and you have kids that crave animal books, definitely pick up National Geographic Deadliest Animals on the Planet. The next book I have is called The Juneteenth Cookbook, Recipes and Activities for Kids and Families to Celebrate. This is written by Alia L. Agostini and Chef Teddy Elrod and illustrated by Sawyer Cloud. I received a early advanced reader of copy of this book, and I loved it. I loved it because the book gives a concise, easy to understand explanation of Juneteenth and the history of it for kids. It explains the symbolism of the color red, and it's just very simple for elementary age kids to understand. There's recipes, all different kinds of recipes that are celebrated during Juneteenth. Some of the recipes include hot links and chow relish. There's a mac and please recipe, sweet potato bars, red lemonade, corn muffins with hot honey butter. That sounds really good. Red velvet ice cream sandwiches, and so much more. Some of the recipes do call for adult help. There's a little icon where at each recipe, you'll see that little icon, and that way that signals to the child, I need an adult to help me with this. The really cool thing about this book, there's also different activities that you can do that families could do during Juneteenth. There's a medallion craft that kids can make. There's a section on Juneteenth field trips where families and caregivers can take their kids to different sites. There's table and field games section and a Let's Dance section where kids can play different songs for families to dance to. There's also in the back of the book a resources page, and this is a winner. If you need more books for your Juneteenth section, hands down, get the Juneteenth cookbook. The next book is called Finding Home, Words from Kids Seeking Sanctuary. This is written by Shelley Rotner and Gwen Agna and photographed by Shelley Rotner. This is a nonfiction book that shares from the children's perspective the reasons why they had to move. The text is explained in simple sentences that kids have had to escape because of fires, floods, drought, war, or simply because their home was not safe. Kids can read the breakout sidebars with 1 to 2 sentence statements from kids all over the world. It encourages kids to have courage and bravery to move somewhere new. It does share stories from 4 kids. There's one child that left their country to Poland. There's one child that left from France to the United States. The third child left Afghanistan with their family before moving to Germany and then the United States. But this book offers tips on how to welcome someone new, how adults can help, and other ways educators and caregivers can get involved. This is a very timely read with a lot of kids and families moving from one place to another for whatever the reason. But definitely, I would definitely add this to your collection at your library. Our next book is very timely as well, because guess what? April 8th is the eclipse. And from our friends at WHO HQ, they have came up with what is a solar eclipse. This is written by Dana Machin-Rao. And this is, if you don't know who the Who Was series, Who What, Who Is, Where Is, definitely check out the WHO HQ website, because they have a ton of these books. These books are super popular with kids. And in this edition, kids can read all about the eclipse and what they are. Readers can learn the history of the eclipse and how they were recorded throughout history. They can learn facts about the sun, such as, I didn't know this, eclipse chasers. They're called, and I have to read the words, umbraphiles, or shadow lovers. I did not know that. I learned something new from this. It also features the signature black and white illustrations that they are known for. But this would be a nice addition to boost your eclipse books in your library, or if you're planning an eclipse program at your library. So this month, I found 2 teen poetry books, and I had to add them on here because they were just amazing. The one to your left is called Poemhood, Our Black Revival, edited by Taylor Bias, Erica Martin, and Amber McBride. And the book to your right is called Black Girl, You Are Atlas, which is written by Renee Watson and illustrated by Ikua Holmes. Poemhood received starred reviews in Publishers Weekly. Black Girl, You Are Atlas received starred reviews in Kirkus School Library Journal. With Poemhood is an anthology of poems and stories about the Black experience. It has more than 35 well-known award-winning poets, including Kwame Alexander, Ibi Zoboi, and Nikki Giovanni. Some of the poems, they are just different conversations, and it talks about race, belonging, wanting to belong, history, and just the highlights, the joys and lows of being Black in America. These are outspoken poems. They're open, they're joyful, they're insightful. They are also hard-hitting. There was one poem about a child being shot, which it stirred some feelings. But it is a worthy addition to your teen nonfiction collection. The second book to your right, Black Girl, You Are Atlas, is downright amazing. Renee Watson has outdone herself. This is a semi-autobiographical gem, and it chronicles Renee's experiences growing up in Portland as a young Black girl. She's dealing with race, she's dealing with class, her place in the world, and gender. Renee uses different types of poems. So there's haikus in here, there's free verse. My favorite poems from this book were Black with a capital B and Turning 13 and Where I'm From. Those 3 poems were dynamite. Both of these are highly recommended. So get these in your Baker and Taylor cards. Okay, we are moving and switching gears again to now middle grade fiction. Here we go. Our first book for this month is called Not Quite a Ghost, and this is written by Anne Ursu. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal, Bulletin for the Center of Children's Books, and the Horn Book. And this is about a young girl named Violet. Violet has an older sister who's in high school and a younger brother who's in preschool. She has a blended family. Her siblings are white, and her mother is married a Black man, so they have kind of a blended family. And Violet is starting middle school, and she's just moved with her family into a new house. And from the get-go, Violet's like, there's something up with this place. The attic bedroom in their new house is shadowy, creaky, and wrapped in old yellow wallpaper, and it's covered with a faded tangle of twisting vines and sickly flowers. And when Violet moves in, and this is her room, she starts to fall ill. And the crazy thing is, she doesn't get better. And soon Violet starts to suspect that she might not be alone in the room at all. This was a very interesting book because it has themes of living with a disability, because she's getting sick and the parents think, well, maybe it's COVID, maybe it's mono, and it's not any of these things. And it deals with managing an illness, which in this case, it's post-viral syndrome, which turns into chronic fatigue syndrome if it's not checked. The author said this story was inspired by the story The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, which I'm sure all of us read that. I read it in I think it was high school or middle school. But this is an interesting read, and I would definitely add this to your collection. And series alert. For those of you that are new, I like to put series alerts because there are series. We're always trying to keep up with series and what's coming out next. So I like to throw series alerts into my slides. And I wanted to make sure these two books got on your radar because these are coming down the pike. And these two were announced, I think, last month or the month before. The first one to your left is called The One and Only Family. This is the final book in the One and Only series that is written by Catherine Applegate. And this last book focuses on Ivan. He's been happily living in his wildlife sanctuary with his best friend Ruby next door in the elephant enclosure. And Ivan gets frequent visits from his canine friend Bob and his mate Kenyani by his side. And Ivan and Kenyani have welcomed a set of twins to their family. So Ivan is balancing the joys of being a papa and navigating the joys and challenges of parenthood, but he can't help recall his life before the glass walls of the mall circus in his own childhood in the jungle. So definitely grab The One and Only Family because that's going to be a hit, and especially it's the last book in that series. And of course, to your right, Jeff Kinney announced another Diver Wimpy Kid. This is called Diver of a Wimpy Kid Hot Mess. This is book 19. Can you believe it? Book 19. This is written by Jeff Kinney, and the synopsis for this book in this series, Greg's parents, they've agreed to spend summer break with both their relatives at the same time. And so Greg and the family have to figure out how to be in two places at once. Do you see a hot mess coming? Yes, I do. Again, zany characters, zany situations, always with Greg Heffley and the Heffley family. One and Only Family is going to be released May 7th. Diver Wimpy Kid Hot Mess is going to be released October 22nd. And notice, every time he puts out a book, it's always right before Christmas. Smart thinking. All right, we are going to move now to teen fiction. And the first book I have for teen fiction is called Out of Body. This is written by Nia Davenport. This received a starred review in Kirkus, and this is a sci-fi thriller that deals with 17-year-old Megan. Megan, she's never really felt like she's fit in anywhere, but she has a chance to meet someone, and it leads her into this whirlwind friendship with the cool girl at school. Her name is Elsie. And she feels like she's found someone, and she's actually has a friend, and she's found her place. That is until she wakes up passed out at a party to discover three things. Number one, Elsie planned the whole encounter from the start. Number two, Elsie and Megan have swapped bodies with each other. And Megan realizes that no one, including her parents, will believe that she's not the real Megan. And So Megan has to pretend to be someone else and unearth their secrets. And she finds out twisted truths about people. She has to learn about the network of allies and enemies in the school, all by clinging to the core of who she truly is. This is a suspenseful sci-fi thriller. If you want something to pair it with This Vicious Games. So if you're looking for that sci-fi thriller point of view, grab Out of Body. The next book I have is called Kind of a Freaky Friday. Emily says kind of a Freaky Friday, indeed. This is called A Place for Vanishing. This is written by Anne Frastat. This received starred reviews in Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and Book Page. And this focuses on 16-year-old Libby Feldman. Libby has a lot going on. She's hoping for a fresh start. Her and her sister and her mother, they're all hoping for a fresh start. Libby has been diagnosed with bipolar 3, and she attempted suicide at her old town. And so her mother and her sister have decided to move and get a new start. And where they move to, they move into her mother's childhood home, which has been abandoned since the tragic deaths of Libby's maternal grandparents. Libby has been told that they just vanished, they just disappeared. But from the start, Libby thinks that things in the new house are not right. Her mother brushes off Libby's concerns, and Libby, through the help of Flynn, the cute boy at the library that works at the library, who ends up being her love interest, Libby learns that the house has been the site of seances and mysterious disappearances. And so together, Flynn, who can channel ghosts, Libby, and her sister Vivi, they have to battle these evil spirits that are seeking to take over their bodies and souls. Right now, there's just 11 souls in the house, and it just needs 2 more. And so this was downright creepy. The horror elements are on point. They're very well drawn, just downright eerie. It has the psychological horror in it, the body horror, and I love how it brings the mental illness and discusses that. It's just the descriptions are very creepy. The house has stained glass windows, and the stained glass windows, they have different bugs or insects, and they all play a role in this weird seance situation. And they have to find these eerie bug-shaped masks that are hidden throughout the house. Just downright creepy, my kind of book. If you've got horror fans, grab A Place for Vanishing. And again, another series alert. Oh my goodness, it's all about the series today. I have 2 books that you should have on your radar for series alert. The book to your left was announced last month, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Wrath of the Triple Goddess book, and this is book number 7, written by Rick Riordan. And in this installment, the synopsis goes is that Percy is now a senior, and he needs 3 letters of recommendation to get into New Rome University. And he has to get these letters of recommendation from the Greek gods. Heatcat, a goddess, has offered to help Percy on one condition. Percy must pet sit her polecats during Halloween. So Percy and his friends, Annabeth and Grover, they all head over to Heatcat's house, and they're looking inside the mansion. They're starting to get acquainted with these fussy animals, but they've been told not to touch anything. Well, things go awry, and Grover drinks a strawberry-flavored potion in the laboratory, and it turns him into a giant frenzied goat, which is damaging everything inside the house, and he passes out. So now the friends have to find the pets and somehow restore Heatcat's house all before they get back. We'll see if they can do it. The book to your right is called Air, And this is written by Saba Tahir, who wrote All My Rage. If you have not read All My Rage, please go grab that book. It's so good. This was announced a couple weeks ago on Good Morning America, if memory served me right, and I saw the Instagram post about it, so I had to screenshot it to remind myself to add this to the slides. This book is being released October 1st, and from my understanding, the synopsis is that it's a fantasy tale that is set in the universe of an Ember in the Ashes series. And the story follows Aiz, I hope I'm saying it right, Aiz, A-I-Z. She's an orphan that grew up in Kagari slums, who is seeking vengeance. It also focuses on Saoirse, who's a banished tracker who agrees to be a killer for hire until she falls for a fugitive. And it focuses on Quill, an exiled prince who has to stop an enemy as they threaten the Empire. So these three characters, they interweave together as they are grappling with power, love, treachery, and greed. Air comes out October 1st, 2024, and Percy Jackson comes out September 24th of 2024. All right, we are going to move to graphic novels and manga. Oh, and I have a question. Let me see. I just want to check real quick. Let's see. Amy says, we have our Percy Jackson series with our juvenile fiction and not YA. With Percy being a senior in high school in this new book, do you think the content becomes more YA teen than juvenile section book? Thanks for the question. I have placed it in YA just because of the characters. I mean, with that first book, they all moved up as far as age goes. So the previous library that I worked at, we always had them in young adult, teen, rather than children's fiction. So just because of the ages of the characters. So, but thank you for the question. And Allison says, we have a copy of each book in both YA and juvenile fiction. Awesome. Thank you. The next book for graphic novels and manga is called Wildful. This is written and illustrated by Kengo Kurimoto. This received a starred review in School Library Journal and Forward Reviews. The first page of this book says, stop, listen. What does the wild speak? Now, at first I was kind of like, it's just black text or just black pages, and then the words are in white. But then you understand once you see Poppy, this little girl on the cover. Poppy is sad because nothing's been the same since her grandmother died. Her mother is still grieving, and her grief has kept her indoors and on the couch. So one day, Poppy takes the dog Pepper for a walk in the neighborhood, and they discover a forgotten forest. And there she meets a young boy named Rob. And Rob helps Poppy find magic in the forest. And together, they help Poppy's mother see that her grandmother's love is everywhere. This is a beautifully illustrated book for graphic novels. It tackles themes of grief, love, and finding magic. The pictures are sepia toned, but there's hints of color that pop in the pages. Very calming, very beautiful graphic novel. So please check out Wildful. Okay, this series is called the Bounce Back series. This is written for middle grades, so roughly that 5th through 8th grade crowd. And these are 2 mangas. It sounds like publishers are trying to reach that elementary, middle school grade level, those 2 entities as far as mangas, because a lot of youngsters are starting to pick up mangas and they want to read mangas. This series is written and illustrated by Misako Rock. She's a teacher and she also teaches manga classes. The first book is called Bounce Back. It came out a couple years ago, and No Such Thing as Perfect just recently came out. Bounce Back is about Liko Takada. Liko is devastated because her parents have decided to move from Osaka, Japan to New York City. She knows very little English, and she was captain of her winning basketball team in Japan. And now moving to New York, she has to connect with these new girls, and she's joined the basketball team in her new city, but they just they're not into her. They just don't connect with her. But she does find comfort in other new friends who love animes and mangas, and help arrives in the form of her cat, Nico, who is now inhabited by a tough love guardian spirit. Same thing with no such thing as perfect. Emma compares herself to her sister, who's bright and popular. She feels pressure to change, and it's exhausting. She also is on the basketball team, and she gets help from her basketball teammates and Lexi, the French bulldog, who is also her guardian spirit. So both of these books feature guardian spirits. I really liked these because they talk about being true to yourself. They tackle all the things schoolers deal with: bullying, best friends, friendship challenges. But I just loved that it has those positive messages for fifth through eighth grades. These are clean mangas. They have the Western style of reading, which for these books, they would just read from left to right. They do have manga artwork that would appeal to those who are looking to get into middle grade mangas. So definitely pick up this series by Masako Rocks. Do I think the Bounce Back series will continue? I think it would. I mean, I would hope so, because these are really, really good books, and there's been a lot of requests. I'm answering Sherry's question. There's been a lot of requests for middle grade mangas. So I hope Masako continues them. I'll have to check on her website. That's a good question, Sherry. Thank you. My next book and final book on the list for graphic novels this month is called You Wish. This is written and illustrated by Jeff Victor, and this is about Avery McLean. Avery is 10, and she loves magic. She loves to do magic tricks, and it helps kill the time because her father runs a tiny gas station in the middle of nowhere. But she does help her father with the gas station and different things. And her mother died a long time ago, or so Avery thinks. She's rummaging around in a room, and she finds a lamp. And of course, she rubs it by accident, and out comes Giblet. Giblet is a messenger for genies, and Giblet tells Avery that her mother, Caressa, was a genie, and she fell in love with her father. The evil arbiters found out about their relationship, and they kidnapped Caressa back into the lamp and put her in an amber color prison. So Giblet grants Avery 3 wishes, and of course, she uses them on a quest to find her mother. This was a fun romp. It was a fun fantasy novel. It's good for those who are looking for something different from Bone or Amulet. Jeff left it clearly open for a second book because you're so focused on Avery that Avery asks Giblet, "Hey, where's your family?" And Giblet starts to cry, and Giblet says, "Okay, we got to move on." So that door is open for a second book because I kind of want to know what's up with Giblet. How did he end up in the lamp? Very fun, super cool. Definitely grab You Wish. Now, on to what I am reading. And oh my gosh, I'm reading a ton. So this has been on my radar this month. Where Sleeping Girls Lie, that's written by Farida Abike Yemidia. I hope I pronounced that wrong. I hope I pronounced it right. That received a star review in Publishers Weekly. It's about Sade. She is starting her junior year of high school at a prestigious academy, and she decides to investigate something when her roommate, Elizabeth, goes missing. And so Sade is finding out these dark secrets, and it has themes of grief, rape culture, and moving on. It is described as a crafted paranormal mystery, and I really want to see where this goes because I just got it in my Kindle for NetGalley. The Partition Project is written by Sadia Farouqui, and that received starred reviews in School Library Journal. This is described as a Pakistani American girl whose passion for journalism starts when a conversation about her grandmother's experience of the partition of India and Pakistan. And it talks about the bond that these two forms as she helps tell the story. So I just got this, what was it, last week? So I'm hoping to get to that. And at the bottom, this came last week as well. It's called Unicorn Boy. Unicorn Boy is a graphic novel that is written and illustrated by Dave Roman. Let me see, it received starred reviews in Kirkus and Publishers Weekly. This is about a young boy who sprouts a unicorn horn and uses his newfound powers to help those in need. So that's going to be on my radar to read for children and teens. On the right, the two books that don't have ISBN numbers, those are adult horror books because a lot of people know I love horror. This book is called Midnight, at the top is called Midnight on Beacon Street. That's written by Emily Ruth Verona. And that is about a mom who goes out one night, just out on the town, and she leaves her 12-year-old daughter, Mira, and this cute 6-year-old boy named Ben with the babysitter, Amy, who's 17. Amy suffers from anxiety disorder, and Amy finds comfort in what else? Watching horror films. But one night while she's babysitting them, the events in this house take a weird turn because she gets an unexpected visitor. There's mysterious phone calls, and the poor kid, Ben, he gets up at midnight and he walks in the kitchen and he's standing in a pool of blood with a dead body at his feet. Creepy. Downright creepy. So I can't wait to delve into that. And then this book down at the bottom, this book does not come out till June, but again, netgalley.com, you got to get on NetGalley because they have so many cool galleys to read ahead of time. This book is called Horror Movie. It's by Paul Tremblay. If you know that name, Paul Tremblay, he wrote Cabin at the End of the World. Horror Movie is about a cursed film. It's about a group of young guerrilla filmmakers that made a disturbing horror film in June 1993. But years later, of course, Hollywood wants a reboot. Go figure. The surviving cast member of the first film has been asked, he's going to return to help with the remake, but the secrets of the past, of the bizarre events with the filming, they're starting to blur with things of the present. So these are all the books I am excited to get my hands on and get into this month. Whew, that's a lot. I got 10 minutes left. So I wanted to tell you some upcoming events that we have at the State Library because there's some really cool stuff going on and I had to pull my notes. For those of you who work with adult collections, who are buying adult fiction and nonfiction materials, there's a 4-part series coming up called Buy Better Books. It's a collection development primer. It'll be every Tuesday in March from 11 a.m. to noon. And what it is, it will help you improve your collection development skills. So they're going to delve into best practices for purchasing for all parts of your adult collections and promoting your awesome finds. You'll learn about tips and tricks and in-practice collection development professionals. So Sam's got the link in the chat, so register on Iowa Learns. Also, in March, we're going to have Pop YS Live, Deaf Children and the Library on Wednesday, March 13th from 1 to 2 p.m. That webinar will feature teacher librarian Kate Kessel of the Iowa School of the Deaf. She will share her best practices for reading with young deaf children, how to help deaf children with books, how to make the print accessible, and other helpful advice. So I hope you please join us for those webinars. You don't want to miss them. They will be recorded, of course. So please register on Iowa Learns. And of course, I got to do a shameless plug. I'm like the hype girl, shameless plug. Top YS Con, it is coming. I am so excited. We have some awesome keynotes that are lined up for April 8th and 9th, and many of you have registered already. Thank you. We will have a fun time. I'm excited. Charity Nebby's going to be there sharing her love of books and reading. Tasha Squires, the teacher librarian, sharing public and school library partnerships and how to do that. She's also going to talk about the benefit of large print for all students. Jason Platt, Drew Brockington. Jason Platt wrote the Middle School Misadventure series. Drew Brockington is the author of the Cat-Stronaut series. We will have a graphic conversation with them about graphic novels. And Maya Payne-Smart, who will talk about building on early literacy skills, how we can build that for caregivers beyond story time. And a cool thing to announce, Check It Out will be live. Yes, live at Pop YS Con. Am I crazy? Yes, but I'm so excited to share this live and be actually off of a screen and seeing your lovely, wonderful faces. So please register down below. It's going to be at Gateway Hotel and Conference Center. That link below will tell you all you need to know about the conference, how to register, and check that link also because we'll be announcing the schedule pretty soon. Check it out. And we also have Renew, Repeat, our Summer Reading Summit that is post-conference. That will be Wednesday, April 10th from 9 a.m. to 3 at the Ames Public Library. The whole goal of the Summer Reading Summit is to basically put the finishing touches on your summer reading program, whether you're using the theme or not a theme. We'll have different guest speakers. We'll have breakout sessions and networking opportunities, craft examples, book display examples, and more. And we'll also talk about summer reading resilience. Really, who fills your cup? How you can protect yourself and get that care you need during summer reading so you can go fill the cup of others. Sam put the chat in there as well, in the link into the chat. For both events, please register by March 22nd. And if you are paying by check, please mail that check ASAP. That has been told for me to tell you guys. So yes, that is all happening. And giveaway time. For those of you that are new, we give away books. So 4 winners from this session will receive a Check It Out prize book pack, or book prize pack, excuse me. All of our prize packs are delivered via Iowa Shares. And we want to say congratulations to January winners. Kelly Platt of Denver Public Library, Rhonda Brown of Wilton Public Library, Christine Hussing from Mondawmin Public Library, and Sandy Long from Whittemore Public Library. Congratulations. So make sure before you leave today, put that first and last name in the chat because I want to make sure I pick a winner. And I can't do that when there's no name where it says only computer 1. Please put your first and last name in that chat because you could be the next winner. I think I covered everything. Sam, what do you think?
I think so. I am so excited for Check It Out Live. I'm trying to figure out how I can be Janeé's like Vanna White, like if she'll let me up front with her, like handing her the next book or something. I got to see if I can get in on that at the conference. I think it's going to be fun. I was going to promote the Buy Better books, but you did that for me. Becky's going to kick us off in a couple weeks with the Buying Fiction and a sneak peek. She told me that she put together what she's thinking is a pretty comprehensive list of all of the major awards and when they come out. So when you come to that session or you view that session, you're going to walk away with this awesome resource saying like, oh, it's the Pulitzer this week. I better pay attention to that. That's a big one. You'll probably catch it, but she dove into genre and subgenre awards. You're going to have so many great resources to keep an eye on throughout the year for buying for your collection from that one. So I hope that you can come to that with us. And we'll talk about nonfiction the week after that. It's going to be such a great event. Um, I don't have anything else. I do have to say, in general, this group did so fabulously with their names. So let's keep that one up, everyone. Nice work. I hardly had to bug anybody about names. And so, yeah, we're excited to award a prize pack to those who are attending today. My thanks to Janeé for this webinar and for all the hard work that she's putting into the conference. I do hope we can see you all there. We will have Check It Out back virtually at the end of April for sure, and we'll get that posted in Iowa Learns soon, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, come to the conference, come to the Summer Reading Summit, and thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thank